Okay, just get up on that podium. All right, I'm here. That was easy. Now I just need to... Oh my gosh! How many people are in the audience? 100? 1,000? Don't count. Okay, I can do this. I'm gonna focus on my notes. What did I have written down again? Hello. Okay, if this sounds like your worst nightmare, you're not alone. Actually, you're one of the estimated 70% of the population that has an intense fear of public speaking. Many polls list public speaking as the most commonly reported phobia among Americans. It's called Glasophobia, meaning literally, fear of the tongue. A study by Texas Christian University tested 48 women and 48 men enrolled in a public speaking class and found that those who exhibited high trait anxiety had the most physical symptoms of distress when speaking publicly. So, what if you're the kind of person whom any bit of social acrobatics is tantamount to entering a lion's den? Hey, calm down. Okay, I'm just kidding, but seriously, calm down, all right?
But what if you can't calm down nga, diba? I mean, you can imagine, just closing your eyes and imagining being in front of a crowd and presenting your thoughts, your studies, can be really nerve-wracking. And I say this from experience. Sabi nga ng karamihan, it's easier said than done. So, what we're going to do today is we are going to talk about and have a conversation regarding public speaking and how do we overcome that anxiety and the stress levels that we have before presenting so that we can be successful. And just for today, just for this episode, I'm going to invite a special guest so that we could share our thoughts, our experiences, some tips that we can give you all so that the next time you go public speaking and speaking just maybe in a small group, then you can present yourself more successfully. So yeah. And just a thought, hindi lang naman ikaw ang nag-iisang tao na natatakot in public speaking. Sabi nga kanina sa video na pinakita ko sa inyo, at least 70% of the population has had the stress and the anxiety levels before public speaking. And yun na yung mga estudyante na trained na talaga in public speaking. So don't be too harsh on yourself because it's pretty normal. Pero mga kapatid, hindi naman ibig sabihin nun ay sa bawat sitwasyon na kailangan mong humarap sa madla at magsalita, iiwasan mo na. I mean, you cannot run away from it forever and at least experience it once in your lifetime because, it can really benefit you in some ways. And we are going to teach you today how you can overcome it together. Sabi nga ni Franklin Roosevelt na dating Pangulo ng Amerika, walang ibang dapat katakutan, kundi ang takot mismo. Hi, this is Duel on the mic, your host for Celestium Talks. Hello and welcome back para po sa mga kapatid na nanonood po para sa ating buwan ng pulong ngayong Pebrero. Hello po mga kapatid. Na-surprise ko ba kayo? Kasi what? Wow! Nag-YouTube po pala si Louie. Yes po. Opo, matagal na. Last year pa po. Kaya sa mga hindi pa nagsusubscribe, mag-subscribe na. Anyway, doon naman po sa mga avid listeners natin and watchers ng show na ito. Wow, kala mo big shot na, no? Nagpapasalamat rin naman po ako sa inyo dahil po sa patuloy niyo pong pagsuporta sa akin. And I'm really sorry that I'm posting content just now since we kinda had a small break in Celestium Talks. And I know I promised to post, more consistently, pero school is really taking a toll on me. Sa mga ka-grade 12 students ko dyan and sa mga normal na estudyante, I really feel you. Talagang mas nakaka-pressure talaga ngayon. Lalo-lalo na last semester na natin in school, which is the phase na para sa gawaan ng research study. And since I'm a STEM student po kasi, we're having this weekly reporting progress and updates for our teachers in our science project invention. And speaking of reporting in front of class, I think we could tie that up for our topic for today, right? Because reporting stuff and even speaking in general is really quite hard, especially when the topics you had are much more complex than general conversations with friends. Then to add pa, there are these risks and factors that could make you more nervous, like, while you're holding your notes, arranging your slides, and deciding what's the best intro that you could give so that you could catch the attention of the people. And honestly, online class make it even more difficult because not only do I have to prepare myself, but I also have to prepare new stuff that I don't even consider preparing during face-to-face speeches. And the first thing is, for online class is, first one, you think about your online connectivity as well as the presenter na ka-partner mo. Because not only can your online connection be interrupted in the middle of your presentation, baka mamaya salita ka ng salita, kaya pala hindi ka nila nagigets yung mga sinasabi mo ay dahil wala ka palang slides na pinapakita. And one of the important things in reporting are visual aids, especially when it comes to harder topics. Kaya dapat mapagkakatiwalaan yung kapartner mo na magpe-present kasi magiging mahirap kung mag-isa ka lang na magpe-present during online class. Another factor is expression or reactions from your peers or classmates. It's really limited lagi kasi lalo na kapag mga naka-off cam sila. Sasabihin nila nahihiya sila or magsasabi na sira po cam ko, pero truthfully hindi naman talaga. At hindi naman natin sila mapipilit lahat na mag-on cam. And when it comes to that, ang hirap talaga, lalo na basahin yung kanilang responses, which is one of the things that we rely on if we're still doing well. Kasi hindi mo pala alam, pinagtatawanan ka na pala nila off cam. So this situations is really hard. And last but not the least are the technological errors na nararanasan natin during online classes. Because speaking in public is already hard, and imagine having errors in presenting slides or unexpected microphone malfunction. Minsan biglang magloloko yung mga websites na ginagamit natin, or kaya hindi pala natin alam, masyado palang mahina yung microphone na nakuha natin, kaya hindi nila tayo maintindihan ng maayos. And that all that factors, and when that all sums up, lalo tayo nagkakaroon ng high stress levels. Mas lalo tayong nai-stress. Kaya ayan, lalo ka tuloy nawawala sa sarili mo. So now that I have given you all that background information and all that, backstory about my current situation, about that topic that we're going to discuss about today, which is public speaking, we're going to move on now to the tips and the helpful experiences that we could possibly give you and share to you with someone that has already had a good background in public speaking. So let me introduce to you, my dear viewers, our special guest for today. She is a classmate of mine during my junior high school year and had graduated with high honors with an average of 97. She is currently a humanista, or a Strand in Morong National High School, Senior High School. As for her credentials, she is exposed during our junior high school years on being a Masters of Ceremonies and a couple of times in our school programs, and had the experience of winning the high school level debate competition. She also had the opportunity to be trained alongside by me for the district level debate competition. However, due to the COVID-19 situation in 2019, we were not able to compete. And lastly, she was also competed in journalism and the radio broadcasting. And personally, as a critic of a best friend, I have known her since day one on how she could be amazing during reportings and in general public speaking. So without further ado, let me introduce to you our special guest for today, Miss Erin Garcia. Woo!
Hello. Woo! Wow, that introduction was flattering. Thank you.
Flattering ba? Anyway, so before we go on to our topic, is there anything you want to say to our viewers?
I just want to say hello, and also to you, Riza. Thank you for having me. I'm
Sure.
glad to be here.
Yeah, so okay, so are you ready now? Can we start the interview?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my first question for you. So as a public speaker na, and or as someone who has experienced public speaking, do you ever get anxious or get nervous while being in front of the crowd now?
Yes, I still do. Like, no matter how many times I do it, grabe kinakabahan pa rin ako, and I do get anxious. I think in through the experience, yung skills lang talaga yung na-enhance. Like you know what to do now, and you know how to get the information. You know what to do on stage, how to compose yourself. But the nervousness and anxiousness, they never go away.
Yeah.
Um, pero you know, to look on the bright side, I guess nararamdaman natin to dahil it proves that it means something.
Yeah.
Ayaw mong mapunta yung efforts mo to waste, and you really want to share something meaningful. And you just don't want to say something, but you want to deliver an important message or information.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
And as for me, as a public speaker myself, alam kong isi-share ko lang tong story na to, which is quite a failure story of mine. Hindi ko alam kung natatandaan mo to, Erin. During our grade 9 years, we were asked to do like a story telling of Noli Me Tangere when we did the dula-dulaan. Do you remember that? Imagine
You were the narrator, and
Yeah!
you have the script on your hands. Talagang grabe patong-patong na one whole sheet of paper yon.
And did you know what's funny? I don't have any the script that I'm holding. I didn't have anything that's for me to say because iniisip ko I already have memorized it inside my mind. So I don't really need this kind of stuff. I don't really need a script na because I already have memorized. But then out of the blue when the curtains opened and I saw the judges and the audience is quite big, I was like hello po. Tapos Filipino, we were supposed to talk in Filipino because Noli Me Tangere is in Filipino language. And to think that I stuttered in Filipino is really like unforgivable. Buti pa sana kung English, di ba?
At saka lahat talaga naririnig ka since you have the mic that
works. Diba? So the things that I really during that time I was like, you know, my hands trembled, my feet are
I can feel what you're feeling, you know.
Pati yung feet ko, hindi ko na nga alam makakatayo pa ba ako. Tapos yun nga, pautal-utal ako. Tapos feeling ko talaga parang wala akong hininga. Like talagang hinahabol ko yung hininga ko. So yun talaga ang hirap. So since we are already in that topic, my next question for you is, since you already had the experience in talking in public, what do you think are the possible solutions that you do before you go in front and speak and present yourself?
Well, by possible solutions, dahil nga we learn through experiences, right? And we learn so much. But to sum it all up, meron akong mga ilang bagay na natutunan that I can share. Pretty usual stuff that we hear about public speaking, pretty usual stuff, like we hear it over and over again, but I guess you can call me an evidence that they work. Okay. These are just a few, and I summarized them. I tried my best. Okay.
So,
okay. First is really to practice. Like I know it's really cliche, but you really gotta practice. Okay, by practice, I mean repetition. Like, for example, meron ka ng script, meron ka ng ideas, meron ka ng information, you did all the research and everything. All you gotta do is read that over and over again, because in public speaking, I think that there are two sides of the brain that is working. It makes me think of something like that. There's the unconscious and there's the conscious. And when you read or repeat the script over and over again, hindi lang sa memorize mo siya, pero yung repetition na gagawin mo, parang magiging sticker siya sa unconscious mind mo.
Oh yeah, that's
magiging sticker siya sa unconscious mind mo, at parang siya, alam mo yung price tag na hindi matanggal, parang magiging ganun na siya. So when you are actually really presenting and maybe get caught up with how many people are watching, or like how we experience it, like we get so, like, our mind is just so confused. How will we do this, and should I continue this and stuff? you'll see the audience that are watching, how many are they, or maybe your mind is too caught up with the ideas you get how to present it better. um, on the actual presentation, the unconscious will have the information sticker, and the conscious now will do the action. So yeah, it will come out more naturally, and I guess it makes everything better.
Yeah, I think one point of in public speaking kasi, you have to make it more natural kasi, like you're just speaking lang. And talaga itatago mo talaga yung nervousness mo.
Yeah.
Any other pointers?
And yeah, I do have a story, and it happens over and over again. Like for example, I will practice the script, and then I will say that, okay, that's enough practice for now. Um, gagawin ko na lang, mas gagalingan ko na lang on the actual presentation. At yan, baka marami pa akong ideas while I speak. But it doesn't happen that way. After the presentation, I'll be really glad that I practiced. No matter how little the time I practiced, I'm so glad that I did it. So I didn't forget such important stuff. That's why, yeah, practice can give you confidence and assurance that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, before speaking, you have this big tension or nervousness that you feel,
Yeah.
that you just want to get out of that tension.
Mm-hmm.
But isang trick lang na I can't tell you a trick that I do to get out of that nervousness. Pero isang bagay na ginagawa ko na ngayon ay to just wag kong pipilitin yung sarili ko na huwag kabahan. Because a way to keep that nervousness at bay is to just really feel it. Because when you feel the emotion, and because when you try to force yourself somehow to get out of that emotion, that energy that your mind uses could be used more in like remembering important points and how you're gonna do it, the ideas, the important information, and yeah, it's something that helped me a lot.
Yeah, good point. And I guess that's also a thing that I want to say in front of my viewers is, practice nga. And it's really a cliche nga, as you said earlier, but it's really the most important of all, as well as researching your topic well. I mean, the preparation is also important as your presentation, kasi ano yung ipapresent mo when you don't have enough resources or enough studying to that you do beforehand. And also, I think one thing that I saw in the article that was given to us is having that 2 to 3 minutes break before the presentation is do some stretchings and breathing exercises because it relaxes your mind. And also having that mental talk about yourself, getting out of those negative thoughts by talking to yourself and saying to yourself that you're fine and you can do this. As a speaker, you have the capacity and you do have enough information to say something in front of the crowd. But not the least, and I think the most important of all, during public speaking and during presenting myself in front of the crowd, I think the most important thing to do is pray even before the event. Like for me, example, as an INC member, I do some panata. Like I schedule myself, which is like a daily prayer that you set for yourself, and so that you could at least get help from God, so that in that time, in that event, you won't be that nervous because you know that God will help you throughout your journey in public speaking.
Yes, and that's really important. Like prayer does somehow a big work, because in the presentation you don't know what unexpected thing will happen, and
Yes.
When you have this faith and you ask God for help, like it will be somehow it will give you hope that you're gonna do a great job.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm really sorry for that, small time. I hope that you viewers did get some good points from us, some experiences from
Yeah.
our stories. So, but if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section down below. So, Erin, before we say goodbye, is there anything that you want to say?
Yeah. For public speaking, I think if it was really an easy thing, then everybody would do it, right? But you need to tell yourself that you got this. Maybe it's for school, maybe it's a hobby, maybe you want to enhance your skill. Tell yourself you got this because mistakes are really inevitable, especially from our experience. Like we did a lot of mistakes before we got here.
Yes.
And yeah. But the more you do it, then the more you will grow. And while you keep doing it, you will explore your own style. You will get more ideas and discover new techniques as well. So you really will never know unless you try.
Yes, exactly. So for those of you are have that fear of public speaking, I think now maybe you could get started. Maybe do some simple steps, baby steps nga, towards the goal that you want to achieve. So that's all we have for today. I hope that you guys have liked this video. So yeah, till next time, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.